trying to beat the deadline, which is on the 22nd of April this month, right? So when we have losers and winners in these particular nominations, what exactly does that mean for these parties, the state of politics in the country as we speak at this particular moment, as we head to the August 9th general elections? My name is Brian Amuai again. This is the bottom line. All right, now in studio I have three guests. One, she just won the UDA nominations in Kirinyaga County. She'll be telling us more about that. And one also is, I'm not giving their names because I want to give them humble time to introduce themselves, all right? And he is vying for the MCA in Gatina Ward here in Nairobi. And another one is vying for the MCA Zimmerman as an independent candidate here in Nairobi. I'll start from here. I know we know each other, but a little bit of an introduction and what seat you're vying for.
My name is Robin Muremi Karadi. I am an advocate of the High Court. I'm also an aspiring member of the County Assembly for Zimmerman Ward in Nairobi City County.
Okay.
I am not a guest here. I don't believe I am.
No, you are a resident.
So I don't know today. I don't know if I'm coming as an analyst or as an aspirant. Which one do you want me to take today?
It depends with how I want this discussion to go, but I think we can tackle both.
I think I can go on from there. I like introducing my pseudonyms. So at home they call me Ro. If you like, you can call me Karani Mwenyemta. And if you like, you can also call me Zima Uno.
All right.
Yes.
Next to him.
Thank you very much. My names are Felix Ganda.
Felix Ganda.
Ochieng. Aspirant Gatina Ward. Chama ni ODM.
Oh, okay. So,
yes.
All right.
I'm an engineer by profession.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Next.
I'm Jerry Maina,
Jerry
an
Maina.
advocate of the High Court of Kenya, and I am also the UDA flag bearer for the position of women representative, Kirinyaga County.
Kirinyaga County.
Yes.
All right, now let's start from there, because Kirinyaga County, just the other day you're celebrating, you are now the flag bearer of the UDA party when it comes to the women representative position in that particular county. Let's look at the state of the nomination process here in the country. How do we rate that? Because ODM is doing nominations, UDA is doing nominations, and I understand you are an independent. We'll get into why you decided to go independent and from where you sit exactly how you see these particular nominations playing out. Let's start from there. Did you feel it was a free and fair process? Because I understand some factions do not agree with that.
I can confirm that the UDA nominations in Kirinyaga County were free and fair, and the party worked towards ensuring that. Because at the end of the day, that is why I'm standing here.
Okay.
You know, look at me. I didn't have the machinery to, you know, do anything that would tilt the election towards my favor. So as far as the UDA nominations in Kirinyaga County are concerned, I believe they were totally free and fair.
Totally free and fair. You are vying, you were seeking to vie for the Gatina Ward using an ODM ticket. And right now, I think we'll be having the nominations on Thursday for here in Nairobi. How would you, looking at how they're playing out in different counties, and we've had people complaining that probably the process itself is not free and fair. What are your expectations when it comes to that here in Nairobi come Thursday?
What I expect mostly in Nairobi will be free and fair, because the rumors which are coming from outside, you can't believe they are true or false. But I believe ours in Nairobi will be free and fair.
So yes. Whatever decision we arrive at, even if it's not you being given the tickets, you'll still go with that?
I think you have to support the party, their decision, but so long as it is free and fair.
Okay.
And the nomination will be done the way we want.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, Robin, I think now you've become the neutral ground here because you're an independent candidate. And just from where you sit and how you look at how things are playing, both on these Azimio coalitions, the ODM, the Kenya Kwanza, the UDA, in matters primaries, do you think we are experiencing a free and fair process in all these parties?
Okay, I think both parties have tried one thing. They have done a hybrid approach to these things. So you will find that in gubernatorial race and senatorial race, they are kind of having consensus here and there for some, and then they are going for nominations for others. What that means is they're trying to avoid a fallout where we as independents inherit some of their candidates once they lose, the sole losers, so to speak, or the ones that ziliibiwa, that's what they call it. But looking from it generally, I am an independent candidate because none of the parties has convinced me of their political ideology. So even their nominations per se is just a reflection of what we have been saying, that political parties are just vehicles and tools to be used to attain power, and then once you get there, you forget about them. I think I will not be surprised if my colleagues here turn out the next time in different attires, but we move on regardless.
Let me come to you. You say, Robin says here that he's not been convinced, and probably parties are just a vehicle for people to get to power. Are you using ODM as a party, as a vehicle for you to just get to, power? Or if you had it another way, you would have gone independent?
No, I think I've been there for almost 15 years as a supporter of ODM. And I mean what I'm saying. I'll be in ODM forever.
Okay, now let's get back to you now being the ODM supporter and just some of the ideologies that you believe ODM has that align with you, because at times people say, I support the party for this amount of years, but what exactly about the party do you agree with that you say, now this is exactly what I want to go with?
First of all, in ODM, I want to tell you, we have worked with ODM as a party. And the ideologies we see, things are good. Maybe somebody who has not been there, like independent candidate, will not see what is good in the party. But we, the people inside the party, we know what is good within the party. And we have to support the party as we know the goodness of the party.
Now, what are those goodness of the party that we would like to, because if you have to convince somebody to join your party, then you have to tell them exactly, this is exactly what we have in this particular party. So kindly join us, because I believe party are not just enclosed. You always want to have support.
First of all, like in Nairobi, the party of ODM is the popular party. And if you can run without the ticket of ODM, you have worries.
So we are getting back to why we do take political parties, because then it brings us to the point where he just mentioned that it is a vehicle, and we're going to come to that. UDA for you, is it a vehicle to get into parliament, or you believe in ideologies that it has to? It has, for that matter.
I think perhaps I can't answer that question in abstract, because at the end of the day, we cannot wish away the weight that a party, and most importantly, a popular party in that particular area brings in when you're vying for a certain position. And UDA is a popular party in Kirinyaga County, and I believe that it has a say to tilt the election and who gets particular seats in Kirinyaga County. However, do I believe in ideologies that the UDA party propagates? Yes, I do. I have been working for the party. I am a member of the Secretariat for Women for Ruto. I'm also a member of Young Lawyers Brigade, which is helping the party put up structures and do pro bono work for people maybe who are allied to UDA party who might be targeted by the government. So yes, I do believe in UDA ideologies, and yes, I do believe that since it is a popular party in Kirinyaga County, it is the right vehicle for me to enter parliament.
Okay. I'm coming back to you again with this question in terms of, now Kirinyaga for you, you say it was free and fair, it was an awesome process for you. But looking at other areas that we've had, people, protesting and saying we do not agree with how the process was done here. Deputy President William Ruto, you had our vote, but now with what is happening, you are losing it. What would you say was the way this particular area, so different areas in just the party itself, conducted itself when it comes to primaries in different areas, apart from Kirinyaga, where you come from?
I think the party had the goodwill to ensure that the nomination process was free and fair and credible. And however, there are challenges that come up given the different geographical areas. So I cannot really particularly pinpoint to certain areas and speak as regards to that because I was fully immersed in the process in Kirinyaga County. But I hope that people are able to embrace that they have lost. Because I believe at the end of the day, if you really believe in the ideologies of a party, it is very important that you subscribe to losing, to admitting that you have lost when you have lost fairly.
Okay. Now, when we come back to, when somebody loses, what would you say should be, the best way? Do we go independent? And if somebody decides to go independent, does that then mean the party is losing, or what exactly happens?
Okay, there's this notion that's going around that independent candidates are the losers from these party nominations, which is a fallacy, so to speak. I've been here on this platform before. I've told you I've always been independent because I asked for them to sell me their ideologies. And you can see from what we've had here that I cannot be convinced by that. Because when I stand here, I go around with my manifesto. I tell you of the ideologies and the things that I stand for. I talk about people-centered development. I talk about transforming service delivery. I talk about advancing the rule of law. And it's because I actually believe in what I am pushing towards you. It's something that I can sell for you. So when I asked for parties to sell me the agenda, I walked around. In fact, on one day I came out of this studio, I went to ANC, I went to ODM, I went to Jubilee House, I went to Hustler Center. I just sat, asked them now, sell me your ideologies and tell me why I should vie using a ticket. And one of the things they kept repeating was, we are very popular, we have the numbers, and at the end of the day, that is not an ideology you're selling to me. There's nothing that you're actually pushing me toward. Now, that is one for independent candidates. Number two, I don't believe that all losers should move or threaten the party the way I've seen others do, but I do believe that there are some things that could be checked. In my area, for example, they are going to have repeat elections because everyone claims they won. Okay. And the reason they claim they won is because we have 5 wards and aspirants came from each ward. Everyone would consider the ward they come from their territory. So they would manipulate where they come from and claim they have won. You go to Githurai, they are celebrating their person. You go to Kar West, they are celebrating their person. And so it had to go back to the drawing board and start all over again. Okay. What that tells you is political party nominations have become not an election per se, but a test of your goodness and how crude you can be against your opponents. Okay. That's what came out from most of the nominations. Right. I do not want to talk about this party is good, this party is bad, but I am just giving a fair view from where I stand and what I could observe, especially from my area. I am coming from a place where all these aspirants in my area who are vying talk to me on a daily basis, ask me to join them for their rallies and their engagements, and I wish them all the best. All I'm telling them is don't be so sure about it.
Now, you raise an important question before I come to Njeri. Let me just, you say, you don't want to mention which one is good and which one is bad, but I want to answer, ask you that. Looking at how the nominations are being conducted, this one's the ODM decided to go the digital way, the UDA decided to go, the ballot way, and still we are seeing, disputes left, right, and center. There are some people who do not agree and say, okay, you decided to go this particular route, but we still feel like password password. So which party, how do we then conduct nominations for these particular parties and make sure that it is a process that people get to agree with?
I think the first thing that I want to commend the UDA brigade is their conducting of women rep positions, because I have been quote unquote inspired by what has turned out from them. When I see Njeri winning, I see the lady from Bomet, the 24-year-old, and stuff like that. They make you excited about the landscape and the people that we are actually targeting in our votes. But at the same time, you observe Starehe with their fights, you observe Wamatangi with the dragging of names and whatever, and you start asking yourself, why is it applying only
This
on this side and not on this side? Then you go to ODM and then you find passwords coming with cars, and then you just move a bit lower, and then you see others going independent with banners of inawezekana, and then you're asking yourself, is this really what we've become? Because you cannot tell me you are an independent candidate and your slogan is inawezekana.
Okay.
It's, I think, I gave a joke here and I told you in my area there's a person who's vying with ODM and his slogan is kusema na kutenda. I think kusema na kutenda was William Ruto. So I think that's not where we want to be. We want to be in a place where if you are calling yourself a leader and you're seeking the vote of persons, you have to convince them with what you're telling them.
Okay.
When I tell people that it's all about you, I tell them knowing clearly that what I am saying and what I am selling to you is the fact that once you elect me to that office, I will not be going back to a political party, to a party leader to show me the direction. I will be coming back to you. That's why it's all about you.
All right. Yeah. Jerry, let me come to you. He mentioned something important for me. I believe just, or rather, I just want to ask you a question in regards to from where you sit and how the ODM is conducting its primaries, because they decided to go the digital way. Would you feel probably you as UDA would have gone the same way if just to avoid some chaos that we've witnessed in some parts of the country in regards to the primaries under that particular party?
I think the UDA party really tried to ensure that they use processes that work for everyone. And I think my colleague mentioned that for some of the seats, they entered into a consensus, and we found out that candidates were, they didn't go through the nomination process that I underwent. So I think UDA balanced out everything, and various factors came into play. Because, for example, for my seat, perhaps they conducted polls, and they would check to see whether the ratings, how they're looking like, and then they would do interviews, and then finally they would call the parties and speak to them and see whether they can actually reach a consensus. And what I can commend the party on is that they were not forcing out anyone. They were not forcing people to enter into consensuses. It was purely from all those stages that they underwent, and then finally sitting down and seeing whether you can agree. And then they would find for perhaps the candidates who had been awarded the certificate, or rather who would have been awarded the certificate, the other one would be perhaps maybe placed in the presidential campaign team or compensated in a different manner. So the UDA party has worked all around to ensure that they're putting in mechanisms that work for the party and that avoids fallouts. But you see, for some of these seats, I believe there was no other way out. It was just going to battle it out and let the electorate decide. And at the end of the day, I feel that if you fail nominations, it doesn't mean that that is the end of your vying. There's a window period. You feel that you really need to be on the ballot on 9th of August. You have that option. And there's also the option of putting in a complaint to the party if you feel the process was not free and fair. And the party is very keen on dealing with those issues.
Okay. Now, let me just ask a question in regards to what you just pointed here. It matters like when somebody decides now the process for them wasn't free and fair, and they decide to, leave the party and go as independent. Do you feel like it's a loss for the party?
I don't think, in a way, we could really call it a loss for the party, because I believe if someone does not admit to defeat, you have to weigh your chances, even when you're saying that, oh, I'm going to jump to independent and vie because I feel the nomination process was not free and fair. You have to look at all factors that came into play before you make that decision. Is it a loss for the party directly? I don't really think it is a loss for the party, because at the end of the day, it is one individual who has left. But the party and the credibility of the party, as long as, you see, sometimes, things are just from an opinion point of view. They're not factual. Perhaps maybe from where they're sitting, they feel really cheated, and they feel that because they lost, it automatically translates to the fact that it wasn't free and fair. And perhaps the factual end of it is that the nomination process was actually free and fair, and they lost. But sometimes when you're vying as a candidate, because I am speaking as a candidate, it is very easy to see that you lost because the nomination process was not free and fair or credible.
Okay.
I don't think it's a loss for the party. I think it is unfortunate, but those are things that happen in politics, and we move on. The party moves on.
But the thing is, when you are assuming the two of you are in the same political party, then you are vying for the same seat, and you decide, or you get the nomination because you win, and he decides to go independent, and because your supporters are people of the same party, then this one is an independent, you understand? So if he decides to go independent, you are given the ticket, then your votes are split into two. If those votes are for that particular party, then this one gets an easier way probably and clinches it. Is that not one of the scenarios that could happen when it comes to that?
That is not what really just happens directly, because if I leave the party, right, I joined UDA. UDA was there. It was already in existence. It had support on the ground. So it doesn't mean that I am the reason that UDA stands in Kirinyaga County, right? So if I move from the party and decide that I'm going to vie as an independent candidate, you might actually find that the supporters who were backing me when I was in the party are no longer with me. So that is not the factual scenario. I think sometimes, what I can say is sometimes as politicians, we want to overestimate, the input that we have, or rather the importance that we have. But once people have decided, because people are supporting a particular party because of ideologies, okay? The ideologies of the party do not shift just because I have shifted as a person. Yes.
All right. The seat that you're vying for is one that I haven't seen people being given direct nominations for an MCA position, unless I'm wrong, but I've seen other positions, people getting direct nominations. What do you say to that if you're left to go all the way to the ballot in not getting nominations? And you've been a supporter of this particular party 15 years, because governors and senators and members of parliaments that have been part of your political party, most of them we see that are getting direct nominations because they've been loyal to the party leader.
It's not true, because I want to tell you one thing first. Example is in Siaya. Siaya, we have a governor which is called Orengo. Orengo was given a direct ticket because he was not having a competitor.
Did he not have a competitor?
Yeah, he was not having a competitor. Oburu the same, was given a direct ticket on a Senate seat. He was not having a competitor. But in Homa Bay, they have a consensus between all these candidates amongst them. And they pick one, who is Gladys Wanga. And the running mate was Oyugi Magwanga, or somebody like that. Which means he was not given a direct ticket. He was given a ticket because no competitor was there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, probably there could be a competitor, but when you say we get to a consensus and just sit down and agree, then you're denying the voters a chance to decide who they would want for them to, represent them in that particular party when it comes to the race.
But now, you can't say there is a direct ticket. If there is a consensus, no direct ticket, wameelewana, sindio? Wameelewana. Hakuna direct ticket.
Okay.
Like now, my friend is saying things like goons. He has never seen goons this time in ODM. That one is reality, because we are using digital voting. Nobody has even kicked a bucket. We don't have even those buckets.
Okay.
Now, where is this goose coming from?
Okay. So it is in a way that the digital way is in a way that preventing, or rather reducing the amount of chaos that would have been experienced when it comes to matters.
Yes.
Just conducting those primaries. Slovin, I know you have something to say, but I have to take a break here. All right, now we are talking about party primaries, the state of politics here in the country. My guests here, aspiring member of, or rather women representative Kirinyaga County, and members of County Assembly here in Nairobi. All right, I'll take that break here on the bottom line. KE will be back with the discussion after this short break.
Want to grow your business? Broadcast your sermon, share birthday wishes, make funeral announcements, produce adverts and documentaries? Then book and advertise with us today by calling us